All right, I'm going to show you what I am doing with the box. I kind of did most of it off camera because it's just cutting paper and gluing it on. I did not make the box. I am putting in a picture of what these things look like before that I'm making. I'm just kind of repurposing. So my son's getting married, and when they decide to go on a honeymoon, when they can afford it, I want this to kind of be like their memory box. And he likes orange, so I did want to show the orange around the outside. I thought the picture from the paper collection matched well enough because there's like little pieces of orange here and there, so I hope it looks all right when it's done. The measurements of this box are 9.5 by about 4 1/4 by 7. So my paper pack was 8 by 8 of Bon Voyage. And so I wanted to use the cameras, so that's why I have two different mats. I have a brown and a white, and that made, I went a 1/2 inch shorter each time so that I could use my 8 by 8 collection. So I used the cameras on the tops and the sides. On the back, I did a map, and I did it on here. So I had a heck of a time trying to mimic this little flap with the magnet, and I even put my paper under it and traced it. It turned out it was awful. So this is, I got this from Country Craft Creations in my last design team haul, or I showed it to you. And even though it doesn't really match style-wise, I think it'll be far enough away that you won't notice, but I had to cover this up because it looked awful. So that was my fix for that. The magnet still works really well. I am not doing anything on the inside except for I'm going to be adding some photo boxes to lay inside, and I'll show you how I'm going to make those. I'll make one on camera. And as of right now, I don't have anything on the bottom. If I do add something, I'll have to wait until I'm done with my paper collection to make sure I have enough. So there will be something on top of here and some flowers. I have to have a few flowers, but somebody gifted me some flowers, and I think they match pretty well. I don't like making these because mine don't turn out that great, but I thought these go pretty well with the collection. And then there's this one. I think they're contrast, that they work well enough. We'll see once I get going here. So let me show you. So this is the main box. I'm going to have a camera on top that I'm going to decorate, and then I'm going to have two little small things on the side just for like a display. So this was, I got these on clearance. These actually came together, so I put in a picture to show you what they look like before. They were Halloween or fall themed, and I wanted it to kind of sit on either side of the box. So I just took the distress stain. I didn't like that light colored border. I thought it looked kind of cheap, so I went around with this, and boy, did it, that worked awesome, this distress stain. And this is Vintage Photo. So I went around all the edges. I just put brown paper on the back, and I layered it with brown, and then I had one of the cut aparts, put gold filigree corners, and then just a few flowers, and it says adventure awaits, go find it. So I thought that was perfect for a honeymoon. So that will go on one side of the box. And this one was the coffee mug, and I have, from my last design team haul, I showed you the enamel dots that I got, and I put 3 little brown ones on the top. I had some graphic 45 flowers in my stash. I layered it in a piece of brown first by tracing it on a piece of paper, and then I traced it again with the decorative paper, and then just cut a lot more inside of the line. And when I put it on, I thought, well, it needs a little something, because this was just the paper. Let's see if I have one. It was just this by itself, and I wanted something. So I took the graphic from another one of the papers, and I took it from this one. It was in the corner, and I just fussy cut it and put it on the bottom. And I thought that was cute. And maybe I'll put a word, I don't know. The back, I wanted to cover it. That was the original color that I didn't like. I did put the brown on the bottom, and I thought, well, it kind of still looks like a lid, even though I didn't do it evenly, but it'll be in the back, so it doesn't matter, because I wanted to cover that up. So that's what I have for the sides. Now on the top, I am going to do a camera. This is from the Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and I took the again, the vintage photo distress stain and went around the edges. I still have to do the bottom. I did do the inside of the circle, and I took off the inside. It comes with a piece of this and a clear plastic sheet, and I used, this was in here on the back, and I just used this as a pattern, and I cut out my paper, and then I fussy cut 3 cameras, and I'm going to put that behind here, and then I'll have some shaker pieces, some flat back enamel pieces glued here and there, and the ones that I have, I hope to match well enough. I have 3. I have this one. It's got stars, but it's kind of got that gold. I think it'll go. And hints of green. I also have the gold. I might just drop a couple of the gold ones and then glue a couple of these orange ones, just a few, so that it adds a little bit of color and texture. All right, so that's gonna go on the back side, and I'm not gonna use it as a picture frame then. So I was watching and I thought, okay, I need to get rid of these, and I saw somebody just pluck these things right off the back. So I got my pliers, and I'm just gonna wiggle back and forth. I say that, come on. Ooh, she made it look easy. I might just, mine are in really well. Good mighty. I wonder if the other one is just as firm. I might just have to clip them. Oh my gosh, these are in really well. I'm gonna have to probably cut them. Oh, see, that one came out. That's what I wanted to do. Let's see if I can get this one too. Yep. Oh, geez Louise. So now that bump won't be there, because I'm going to permanently glue that in the back. So now to do the camera part, just like I did the coffee mug, I'm going to place it on the paper that I want to use. And I thought that this, I didn't want it too busy because of the box being the cameras. And so I thought this would go well, and there are hints of the orange, so that I thought that would match that box too. So when I trace this, I'm going to turn this upside down and trace it and cut around the outside edge. Okay, now I'm also going to cover the back, so then I will get another piece and do the back also. Okay, and then I'll come back on and show you how I'm going to decorate it. I'm going to show you how to make some little pockets that go inside of the box, but before I do that, I'm going to let you know that I did finish the camera piece that came from Dollar Tree. Went ahead and cut out my paper by using a blade around the edge. I will tell you that when you're doing these, any kind of block like this, you want to use a file and go around the edges so that you have a nice smooth edge and you don't have any rough edges. Okay, so you do that. I have my little shaker elements. I didn't want too many in there. Put the plastic on the top, and then I outlined that plastic with some like kind of like a jute ribbon and tied a bow. This is a cut apart mounted on brown paper. These were some flowers that somebody had given me, and then I put one of these on here because I had one of these on another one, so it blends in. My flat back enamel dots, yellow here, brown here. I probably should do another row here. I think I will, to make it look more like a flash. Just a random flower with some leaves, and I did cover the back and just left it plain. Originally this was going to go on the top of the box, but once I put it up there, I didn't like the way it looked. So this will be one of them that sits on the side of the box along with this one. So these two will be on the side of the box. The one that's going to end up being on top of the box is this one. So I went back and I put this on here. I felt like it needed something, and I thought they could actually document things on there, either dates or locations or whatever. And then this will stand on this side, like so. Okay, so that's that. Now inside, I want places to put pictures. So I'm making some different little boxes that are about 5 by 7. Actually, I think this is like 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, if I'm not mistaken. And I just have a little pocket here that if you want to stick a random picture. But it's just a magnetic closure, and they can put different pictures in. It could be a set of pictures from one of the tourist places. It could be one from one vacation or another location. I don't know. I'm just putting different boxes in here. I currently have 4. I have 4 made, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to make a 5th one. I think 5 will be just the right amount. And they could put not just pictures in there, maybe like maps, souvenirs, little things they picked up. So let's go ahead and make one of those together. And you're going to just need 1 piece of paper for each one that you make, and it'll be a 9 3/4 by 12. Okay, 9 3/4 by 12. And I'm going to start with the 9 3/4 inches across the top, and I have 4 score marks. I have a 3/4, then I have a 1 1/4, so there's a 1/2 inch gusset, and on the other end we're going to go to 8 1/2 and 9. Again, 1/2 inch is how deep these little booklets are, or boxes. Move it to the 12 inches across the top. We're going to make 4 more score marks. 2 1/2. Let me do that one again. 2 1/2, 3. So there's your 1/2 inch gusset for the top of the box. The gusset for the bottom of the box will be from 8 1/4 to 8 3/4. Okay, that's all the scoring. So the smaller part is the top flap of the box. Okay, so we're going to cut out, there's 3 rectangles and a square here. I'm going to cut out this whole section right here, all 4. So I don't know, I don't think I have a white pen, but maybe if I just bring it closer. 1 2 3 4, and cut on the outside, just a hair outside of the score, so that you don't get that bump. And go on the outside of the score. Try and go as straight as you can. That is always an issue for me. Okay, and let's take out the other 4 on the other side. Maybe I need to be using different scissors. That might be part of it. This is more for tiny details. Okay. Now again, this is the top, and I do want to corner round the flap. So I'm using the 7 millimeter. And when I fold in my sides, this 3/4 inch side, I want that to be rounded also. Dang it. Sometimes I have an issue with this thing. I don't know if I'm not putting the paper in right. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? This happens to me a lot on this. Well, that looks terrible. I'm gonna do 10 millimeters here and see if that looks better. Yeah, that fixed it. So 7 here and 10 here, that's okay. Now on the bottom part, we're gonna cut it a little bit different, because I like to have a little tab to kind of, so you don't have a little opening that you can see a little pin light of hair through, pin of light. So I want to cut so that I have one little tab. So I'm still going to take out these 2 pieces, and I'm going to take out this one on the right hand side, but I'm going to leave that little square there. So again, I'm going to cut to the right, just right outside of the score, and I'm going to go up to the 2nd score mark. Okay, I'm going to take out those 2 bottom rectangles, and then I'm just going to take out this little rectangle right here. And I think I need to straighten that maybe just a hair. Okay, and then I do want to taper this little tab, so I'm just cutting at an angle. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to cut up to the 2nd score, going on the outside of the bump here. take out the bottom two, and then take out the outside, the longer one, and leave the square. And let's taper these. Okay, I have a mess now, these little pieces. All right, let me get rid of this. Okay. So we can burnish our score marks. I fold into the bump. And I gotta get those little tabs up there too. And then our 1/2 inch gusset. So I gotta do the bottom one. Do your sides. And that 3/4 inch. Now when I make mine, I did not put any decorative paper on this 3/4 inch piece, but you can do that if you want. I kind of like seeing the brown actually, especially if you're using a busy pattern, that's good. And then this is the bottom. Nope, this is the top, I lied. Because it's rounded, that's how I know. And it's the smaller piece. Okay. So it's easier to put your pattern paper on before you glue it together. So I already have mine cut. So I'm going to do the inside, and I just need to do the flap, the gusset, and the back of the box. So I cut out my paper and I inked it. So this is 2 3/8 by 7 1/8. I inked with the vintage photo. Okay. And you want to line it up so you have the same amount of space on each side and the top. Don't go over your score mark. If you have any ink coming out, get rid of it. Oopsie. Okay, and I'm going to glue, and I did one sheet for this, and so I want to make sure everything lines up so the patterns just flow real nice like the paper. So these suitcases line up. That looks good. That was 3/8 inches. And then I just kind of take this to about 5. So I have a little bit of space down there, but you're not going to see it anyway, just because the box will be closed and nobody will know. You don't really need to ink the bottom of this piece because it's not going to be seen. And again, we want to make sure we line it up so that it lines up with the other suitcases. Super fast here. Okay, so this is what it's going to be like on the inside. I'm going to turn this over, and this is going to be the outside. This is the front flap. I'm going to do that one next, and I did clouds for that. And I also did clouds for the 3/8 inch sides and top and bottom. So this is again 2 3/8 by 7 1/8 for the pattern paper. And because this is going to be a gift, and I didn't want it to be girly by any means, so you're not going to see a whole lot of flowers on this. I did do it on the wooden, or those, what do you call that, MDF or whatever the heck they call that, fake wood. I did put a few flowers there, but these are just real simple. Okay, and 3/8 by 7 1/8. I don't think that has to line up, but I think this came off a different scrap. But clouds, it doesn't really matter. Okay, turn it around, do the bottom gusset, 3/8 by 7 1/8. Oopsie. Go ahead and do the sides while I'm at it. So these are 5 1/8 by 3/8. It's kind of fun choosing the papers for these. They can coordinate or they don't have to coordinate. You could use all different ones. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the back piece. So my back piece I really wanted to use was this, but it was a little bit too short, so I have to make a pocket. So I made a 1-inch strip, that 1 inch by 7 1/8, and that'll be down here to cover up that missing spot, and it'll act as a small little tuck spot or pocket. Again, 7 1/8. It should have been 5 1/8 long, and this was just a hair short. So that's one way to fix it if your paper's too short. Make a little pocket to cover up the space. If it's directional paper, be careful. I love this paper. So when I do the green strip, I'm just going to put glue on 3 sides. You could glue it all the way down if you wanted, but I thought you might as well use it as a little pocket. Okay, now you'll notice that I am not going to put my front piece of pattern paper on yet because we need to work with some magnets, and I want to get my magnets down before I put the pattern paper down. Okay, so I have a cut apart that I'm going to use, and I mounted it or matted it on brown, and then I just put a little of the cutouts. And this is going to be the magnetic closure, so it'll go here and then flap up. So I'm going to have 2 magnets at the bottom, near the bottom of the back. I have 2 small ones. I'm trying to get rid of some of my magnets that are old. Okay, and I am going to have to put some paper on the back so that when I flip it up, I don't see the magnets. So let me go ahead and put some, my magnets don't have any score tape on the back or adhesive. So I'm going to put just a little strip down at the bottom. Take that backing off. And I'm going to place 2 skinny little magnets, space them out a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put another strip of the 1/8 tape on top just so they don't move around. Okay, so let's take the backing off of this and get ready to glue on. Now the piece that I'm going to glue on does not have to go all the way to the top because this is going to be glued onto the top flap, so you won't see it anyway. So if you have a scrap piece of paper and it's not the right size, you might be able to still make it work. So I got to make sure that I put the paper at all the way to the bottom, and if it's too short, there'll be the excess at the top, or the extra space will be at the top. So when you're working with magnets, just make sure you burnish real well around the outside edges so that the paper lays down. Okay. Now you can measure this to center it if you want. I'm going to eyeball it. And so I'm going to put glue on the top, probably about 1.5 inches down. Okay. And I'm just eyeballing the center. That works for me. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like so far. Now, before, I think I'm going to glue this down now so that the box is the right shape. So you're going to you have to be careful so that when you glue this down that you really tuck in those sides so that it's the right, you don't have the sides sticking out more than the top flap. So I'm putting just a little bit of glue on those little tabs I had. And then about 3/4 of an inch on this one. 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay. So I'm going to tuck in those tabs, lift up, and now I'm going to have to really make sure that everything is lining up. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to tip this upside down and stick this in there just to make sure I can give it a good burnish so that it sticks. Okay. So now I'm going to place 2 magnets on top of the magnets that I already had put on there. And then because they don't have the sticky back, I got to put a little bit of score tape on the back. Okay, I've been struggling with ripping this stuff. Just a little bit, 2 little pieces is all I'm using. Oops. Okay. and take the backing off. Both of them. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this over, and I want to make sure I tuck in the sides, and I am going to push down. It's okay, it's not going to hurt anything, and then those stay down, and they should be in exactly the right spot. So let's go ahead and put another strip so that those magnets don't go anywhere. And now we can put the bottom paper on. And that one measured 7 1/8 wide and 3 1/8 going up and down. These are so cute. And when you have such cute paper, you don't need to add a lot of embellishments anyway. The paper just takes care of that for you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and line this up. Looks about right. And once again, I'm going to tip this over and put my big fat scraper thing in there just to kind of push that paper down. Okay, and how cute is that? All right, so let's take a look. Let me clean up a little bit here, and then I'll show you. I'll have to lay it down probably so you can see, because my camera's up top. So let's just move this so you can get a good look. Get rid of this. Okay, so that's 5 boxes in here that are each about 3/4 inch deep. And we've got our box. So on the top of the box, I did add this cutout with 4 little filigree middle corners. I'll set this on top, so I'm just going to lay it here for right now to show you. And then one of these will sit on one side, and then this will sit on the other side, but it'll be standing, okay? And that will be the little display. And I think it's so cute. If they want, I'll ask them. I can put their name here, their last name if they want. But I think that's super. I think they're gonna like it. It's not too girly, not too masculine, just right. All right. Easy when you buy a pre-made box, that's for sure. And having the pre-made things like this, just spent some time to go around with the ink on the edge so it looked a little bit nicer. I am going to go back and add 3 more dots so it's a thicker cube, like a flash cube. All right, that's that. That paper is called Bon Voyage from Country Craft Creations. So let me know if you have questions and look through your stuff. You might have plenty of stuff to embellish.